MissSimReno. If you are returning to the channel, welcome back. And if you're brand new, I am very excited that you decided to join me here today for another speed build. And I am just waiting in anticipation for the release of the Tiny Living Stuff Pack, which will come out tomorrow. I do not have any kind of early access, so full disclaimer, this is a little tiny home, but it does not contain any of the items that we're getting with this pack because I do not have it. I will be getting it tomorrow, just like everyone else. So I did want to try my hand at another tiny home, and I got really inspired by some of the objects that I found in the debug menu, which included some of these boulders that you could find in Oasis Springs. And I decided to kind of make like this little desert oasis tiny home that looks as though it's on the edge of like a cliff or something. And I've seen other simmers do this before, and people come up with some incredible things, especially with terrain manipulation. But since I'm not too great with terrain manipulation, I decided to just use these debug boulders and then just lift the foundation of the one level home up above the boulders, so it looks as though it's kind of sitting on top. And I did my best to kind of cover the foundation as much as I could. I didn't cover all of it. I didn't really think it was possible without it looking like too crazy, but I kind of put some greenery around it. And granted, this is a desert world, I still thought that it would be appropriate to kind of put a lot of cacti, especially around that quote-unquote pond that I built out front. It is of course just a custom pool because we don't have any kinds of ponds aside from some that are in the debug menu, but I just didn't feel like using one of those. I wanted to kind of create my own body of water, so I thought that that would work. But considering that there is this little watering hole, I thought that maybe that meant more greenery could kind of thrive here. So that's why I felt comfortable at least kind of like plopping plants all over the place, as well as putting ivy on the side of this little tiny home as well. And I just really liked it. It kind of already looks really modern, but inside it's not at all. The only things that I know about this new stuff pack, so I have refused to watch any overviews of Build and Buy. I have not watched any Create a Sim overviews, literally nothing. I haven't even looked at the gameplay features because I want to figure it all out as I dive in. But I do know that a lot of the items that we get are super colorful and kind of like mid-century looking, like mid-century modern. They kind of have that influence to them, it seems, and I can work with that. Like, I love mid-century. I have noted that in multiple builds before, how, you know, my mom collects a lot of mid-century stuff and her whole house is basically decorated that way, and I have come to really love it. So I just made the interior super colorful. And I think this is smaller than the last tiny home I posted. I think this is much smaller than the storage container tiny home I did, because that one was a 2-story and the storage containers were basically the same size. They were just kind of situated differently, like with one on top of the other. So this is much smaller. This is maybe the tiniest I've gone. So I was actually really proud of myself. I'm sorry if you don't like it potentially or something like that, but I thought it was really cool. I was really proud of myself for actually getting it down to this size. And I actually saw there was a simmer that made a 1-tile bathroom with some of the new objects, I believe, from the stuff pack. That's incredible, and I was trying to figure out how I could potentially do that with some of the items we have already. I could have probably made like a 4-tile bathroom, but there was no freaking way I could do 1 tile. It just wasn't gonna happen. But I didn't feel like doing the 4-tile because the risk of maybe it working for me and not working for you guys if you downloaded it was a little too high. I thoroughly play tested this though. I really did. I wanted to make sure every single item was accessible by your sim because it's very cramped. Like, I don't want there to be something that you can't use. So everything works. I tested it. If something doesn't work, let me know what it is so I can actually change it and potentially re-upload it to the gallery for you guys too, because I think in my storage container tiny home, someone had noted that they couldn't reach the sink under the stairs or access the guitar. The guitar, I was kind of theorizing you may not be able to. You might just have to plop it in their inventory, but the sink worked for me. So that was kind of like a discrepancy between someone else testing it and me testing it. So clearly things don't always work. So let me know, because I would be happy to you know, change it up and re-upload it so you guys can use it like 100% good to go. But as you can see, I'm just kind of like tossing items down. I figured putting the big items down, such as the bed and even some of the appliances first would be a good idea. So like I wrapped up the bathroom, and then since we had that update with the little decorations becoming functional bookshelves with Tiny Living, I put one on top of the dresser here so they have a bookshelf, and there's the bed and the TV on the wall. So one note with the TV being on the wall is that your sim will most likely stand on the other side of the half wall that I put on the other side of this bed. Like, they won't sit on the bed to watch TV, which that's what I was, of course, envisioning. I really wish, I think it was like The Sims 3, maybe even The Sims 2, I can't recall, but your Sims could like relax on the bed and watch TV or read a book, and I so wish we had that. Maybe that's coming with Tiny Living. I don't know. Maybe more functionality like that, or just different like sim animations or abilities to interact with different objects like that could be coming. I have no clue. I could just be spewing that out there. No idea. But now I'm kind of working on some of the kitchen items here. So I have the fridge and the sink over here. I put a half wall on the other side of the bed like I mentioned, and that's where I put the stove and more counter space. And I will note as well that over one of the counters, I do put the wall bookshelf that we got with like one of our free updates a while ago, and that blocked the countertop. So when I actually upload this to the gallery, and when you guys, I think when you see the screenshots, I can't really recall, it may be in the screenshots still, but that does not work. And note that I got rid of it because I tested it and I realized my sim could not use the countertop, therefore he couldn't actually cook anything. So I removed the bookcase that I just placed. So rest assured, everything should be good to go there. But that is actually almost it for the build. It was a very quick one because it was such a tiny little space, but everything works. I thought it was super colorful and super fun, and you could even have like 1 or 2 Sims live here because both sides of the bed are accessible, which is also kind of really exciting for me. But the last thing I actually do is there is that little balcony in the back overlooking the river, which is why I use this lot in the first place, and I just put a little seating area out there as well as 2 gardening pots because I wanted there to be some skill building items, and there's actually a fair amount. So again, I really hope you guys enjoyed this. Can't wait to get the pack, and I will catch you next time I post a video. Bye!